Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations. Good day. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in our great state of Texas, but especially here in the lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, and I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in. Today's episode, man, is going to be a highlight of our season. Today's episode is entitled From Zero to Success, How to Achieve Greatness in Your First Year of Real Estate, man. And I have a really exciting guest planned for us. But first, I want to introduce our co-host. He is not only a highly respected and successful real estate broker, he is a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him for sitting in with us this week, just like he does every week here on the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. And I'd like to introduce our co-host, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks.
What up, beautiful people? What's up, Ric?
Hey, man, you know, we out here getting it going, man. I'm really excited about today's episode because today's episode is one of those episodes that the people asked for. The subject matter of today's episode is something that so many agents reach out to, not only myself, but also you. Inboxes, DMs, emails, and they want to talk about what it is that the Texas Real Estate King did when he was initially licensed to get his foothold in the game. And if I had any advice for new agents to help propel their career to the next level within that first 6 to 12 months of being a licensed real estate agent. So today's episode, Mr. Brooks, man, some pressure on us, man. We want to take people from zero to success in 26 minutes, man, and we're going to make it happen today.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's the truth, man. You know, and it's crazy because as we get to express ourselves about today's guest, man, he is one of those ones that I see. I remember when I first met him, and the advice that I've given and the tutelage that I've tried to bestow upon him, he's taken it and ran with it. Like, he reminds me of the beginning of this industry, you know, of course, without the love of the social media that we get nowadays, but just the ability to just be out there and be a mover and shaker. So today is going to be one of those days that if you out there, you looking at us on YouTube, you on one of the podcast platforms, you need to be sharing this because you're going to get some gems that's going to allow you to go from 0 to 100 immediately. We're talking about somebody that's in this industry doing it every single day.
And I want to make sure I give a big, huge shout out to last week's guest, Mr. Quanah Clark of Your Credit Lift Incorporated. Yeah. She has become our latest and greatest and our newest prime real estate insider. I want to thank her so much for the support. We look forward to working with her. We look forward to having her on the show again. And man, and the support from not only our guests, but those in the community is what keeps us going. So I'm eternally grateful and thankful for all the support. Yeah. You know, Larry, you gave us a little bit of the background that you have with this week's guest, but I'm just curious. Could you just allow our audience to understand how the initial introduction, that initial interaction, because I think sometimes we're so big as far as talking about the value of networking and being out there. So could you just share with our audience how this week's guest and you were initially acquainted?
I will. And real quick before that, I forgot to mention, I want to give a shout out to Real Estate guru, PK, the podcast you and I were featured on earlier this year. It dropped this past week, and so it dropped on Monday. So I want to give him a shout out. Let everyone know that have not had an opportunity. Go check it out again. It's Real Estate Guru PK. Check out that interview that myself and Rick did. I guarantee you're gonna get some gems. It's been going crazy on social media. So most definitely check that out. But to get to your point, go for it.
No, but wait. You had to do that, brother, because your reel that came from that interview was fiery to the point, Larry, where I had to think, I was like, was I there? I remember that. That's crazy. So yeah, man, big huge shout out, man, to the Real Estate Guru PK, man, for making his boys look liver than what it was. Man,
we did, because your reel was fire too. Your reel was, man, listen.
I had a ball and a half hanging out with my dude, man. We'll love to come back. So thank you so much, Larry, for not forgetting that part and giving my man his love and flowers.
No doubt about it, man. Now to my guy. So today's guest, I remember telling him when I heard his name, I was like, man, you got one of those names you say at one time. You know what I mean? Kind of like how we say Michael G. Davis, Larry W. Brooks. He got one of those type of names. You just say it across the board at one time. So I said, man, you most definitely need to .com your name. And one of those things is he took the steps to actually do that. I said, you're coming into a profession where your name is the most powerful thing about you. And I just enjoyed the way that he was able to take that and just kind of run with it, man. So one of the things about today's guest that really stands out to me is his ability to get out there, get in front of people, and continue to grow his name, his brand. Like I can literally see him being a household name in the next 12 months. So for those of you that are out there, you're trying to figure out how to get into this industry, take it to the next level immediately. You want to share this, you want to tag this, you want to drop some comments, and Rick, let's bring him on.
Hey, look, man, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. Just like Mr. Brooks mentioned, this gentleman is not only a real estate rock star, but he is one of the top producing agents over at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to thank him so much. He is a real estate expert and entrepreneur, carving some time out of his schedule to sit in with us, and I'd like to thank and introduce Mr. Evans Charles.
Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hey, man, look, man, it's a pleasure to have you sitting in with us, man. I appreciate you, man, so much, man. So first things first, for those in our audience that are being introduced to you for the first time today, Mr. Charles, please just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your real estate practice and the foundation of your business.
Well, a little bit about myself starting off. Again, the name's Evans Charles with Brooks & Davis Real Estate.
Yes, sir.
Just like that.
Just like that. I wanted to say much straighter than that, but honestly, that was tip number one that I got from Larry from day one. Yes, true testimony to that point brings me all the way back to my childhood. Okay, meaning that my parents are from Haiti. They managed to get all the way here to the stateside. Born and raised Brooklyn, New York. And growing up, they gave me the spirit and the attitude and the belief of being fearless. Okay, there's no time to second guess yourself. It's all about putting yourself out there and letting people know that you're out here to help them do something right and be respected in the community. And from day one of meeting Larry, he gave me some tips and he said, hey, this is how you're going to start. Bam. And I was like, okay, no problem. And ever since then, even today, I have some friends, they laugh, but they love it. Even when they introduce me, they do it a little embarrassment. They're like, Evans, do you have to? I'm like, yes, my name's Evans Charles.
Yeah. Every time. Every single time.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
And having that no hesitation thing and that no fear aspect, I can't tell you enough how that has been my attitude to everything as far as getting that knowledge of starting my career in the real estate game. And it's garnered me a lot of attention from a lot of my peers and a lot of people that have been out there way before me. Even my instructors, when I got done taking my class, I made it a point to be front and center in every class, and engage in every conversation. absorb as much as I can, and so forth. With that said, I managed to pass every exam, 1, 2, 3, and I was in and out in less than I think it was less than 8 weeks.
Wow, great job.
That's impressive. Let's not say that is
Hey,
impressive.
man, for real, good work, good
You went in
work.
there and handled business. That's impressive.
Seriously.
Exactly that.
You know, Evans, the great thing about having you on today's episode is because one of the foundational platforms over at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm is the education and mentorship piece. And one of the most important aspects of that is working with those newly licensed agents. And it's our honor to have you sit on this week so that you can share with our audience some of your experiences from the time you were licensed, that first 6 months to your first year in the industry, so that you can dispel some of the rumors and myths that some of these newly licensed agents may have heard or experienced while they were in real estate school. And just to share, you don't have to give us all of your tips and tricks, but just share, give us a little bit of G if you can.
But no, Rick, that's a good one. I want you to start with what was one of the myths, or what one of the things that they preached about in class that you have just now seen, that you haven't seen be a challenge yet? Because that I'm very curious about myself.
Yes, I don't want to say it's a myth. I would just say that with your broker, okay. For me, my experience was that I was given a great mentor right out the gate. Yeah. And coming in as a mentee, I relied again, as they say in the business, I stood on the shoulders of other giants, meaning that I always tapped the person that was making sure that I was doing everything right. So that, to make sure that I did everything right and not make mistakes. Yeah. But in this business, you have to make mistakes. There will be mistakes made. And it's not that you're going to get penalized or you're going to get fined or arrested. If you are doing your business with all good intentions, you can make mistakes and get them corrected and fixed and everything like that. One of the myths that they did practice or preach in the classes is that, hey, you're 1 second away from now going to jail. I can't tell you how many times I've run into a new recruit or a newly passed agent and how they're so handcuffed mentally in getting out there and representing themselves and marketing and talking to people because they're so afraid of saying the wrong thing or doing things. I would have to say, make sure that you are in connection with your broker, you're talking and you're engaging in the classes and knowing how to have conversations with other people without, second guessing yourself.
No, and I appreciate you for sharing that, because that mentorship piece, that inspirational mentorship piece that you speak about is something that at Brooks and Davis, we try to make sure that every new agent to the organization understands that those doors are wide open. Now, of course, to your earlier point, we can only talk about our experiences. And that I've always enjoyed a similar experience over at Brooks and Davis as well. So I understand exactly what you're talking about. But one of the cool things that I like to share with new agents is something that I learned from Larry a long time ago, is the value of being a part of organizations, especially in this real estate sphere. One of the things that I've always been impressed with Larry was from the time that he was a newly licensed agent, he was willing to step up and be a part of organizations and be in the leadership roles. So this question is for first you, Larry, but then Evans, let us know how you feel about this as well. Larry, how can you empower new agents to truly believe that from day one, they can be involved in HBREA, HAR, and actually be a part of these organizations and not be afraid to step forward and be a leader?
Well, here's the thing, Rick, and this is something that I've learned just being a traditional athlete my entire life. Once you got to get involved. Once you get a post of involvement and you build a relationship with other people and you're in a text message group Now, what happens is your blood is flowing whenever something takes place. You're like, you know what? I do need to go to the volunteer with this. Or you know what? I do need to be a part of what's going on with this. That's what happens when you become a part of organizations. You become a part of text group. It may be small committees that you on and helping to make decisions and stuff like that. But what it does is it gets you active, it gets you involved, and it goes big. It grows bigger than your business. So you're going to still continue to network and do real estate everywhere you go. It's just going to be a part of who you are. But you may go to an event and it's and this is something that I definitely want Evans Charles to talk about, because it's one of the things that he does so very well. Like one of the things that since he's gotten into this industry, he's out there, he's active. I've spent time with him away from the office, and we've had conversations, myself, him and the developers and builders. Like, he is out here running the gamut, and I can't see no fail, because you're building up a database. It's going to be crazy. But I want you to speak more to that, Evans Charles.
Sure. Happy to. A lot of people think it's a thing that they got to reinvent themselves or something of that nature. And honestly, it's not. It's for me, again, it was just about who I was and what I like to do and everything like that. And what happened is that I just became a realtor, and I was excited to share that and tell that to other people out there. As far as in organizations, it doesn't even, for me, it's not even that I had to be all real estate related organizations.
That's right.
The one reason I'm in those organizations is to learn and be as sharp as I can about my profession. Yes, I'm part of HAR, I'm part of YRB, Yard. I'm part of several different real estate organizations for that piece. But well prior to that, I'm part of a bike group here in Houston that's called Riders, Street Riders. And everyone, one by one, as we're riding, conversations come along. Evans Charles, Brooks and Davis, real estate
Make it happen. You already know. Absolutely.
I'm in my gym right here in the community off of in Third Ward. Fitness with these,
over there, yeah.
One by one, I'm a real estate agent. They just get in the business. Yeah. And little did I know, the biggest group that I'm a part of, my vehicle of choice happens to be a Jeep Wrangler. Okay. And I don't know if you know about this, but we have a little thing, people want to call it a cult.
Jeeps,
yeah. The bottom line is that we are a tight community. And with the different Jeep communities that I'm in, part of Houston Jeep Gang, United Jeeps, Texas South Jeep, one by one. My name's Evans Charles, Brooks and Davis real estate firm. Yeah. And believe it or not, every time I go out to one of my events and I'm running across, I am connecting, or what I like to call cross networking, my organizations or associations. Yeah. And of course, there's always a real estate need somewhere in there to be found. And I'm just tripping over it.
Yeah. No, the thing about it is, Evans Charles, being a realtor, you're always going to be a connection piece to the community. Like, at the end of the day, you come across more people than anyone else. You're going to have an opportunity to just really be a connector. Relationship currency is the term that I love to use. It's one of those foundations that that you're going to always have a huge database. I remember always telling people that there's not ever going to be some of my clients have a need that I can't find for them. And it's because I plan on being connected as often as often as I can. A lot of times they talk about the six degrees of separation, right? I really and truly believe in the city of Houston, you're probably about 2 people away from knowing whomever it is that you want to know or get in contact with in this city. Just like that.
Just like that. Yes, I agree.
The great thing about the points both of you gentlemen are making is that it shows and illustrates for new agents that all the organizations that you join don't have to be real estate specific.
Right.
And the great thing about what Evans was speaking about is that gives you an opportunity, if you join organizations or continue to work with organizations that you've already been a part of, is you get a chance to cash in on that relationship currency. And that is so very important, because even though you're a new agent, you're not new to the Jeep gang. You're not new to your rider club. So there's people there that believe in Evans Charles, the man,
Yeah.
and thus will entrust him with their real estate transactions.
Yeah.
So please, everyone in the audience, please take heed to what these gentlemen are saying. You're already socially active. You're already probably a member of a gym, a member of a church, member of a car club, member of a bike club. Do not hesitate to wave your real estate flag. Let everyone know I am a licensed realtor. I'm here to help you buy, sell, or invest. And if you can't do any of those three, I'm open for referrals. So either way, we can make anything happen at any time. So gentlemen, I want to thank both of you all. Now, this is one of the things that we do over at Brooks and Davis, and it's our builder field trips.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I've always been so pro the builder field trips, Evans, is because it gives not only the experienced agents, but also our newer agents out in the field to know what's going on in the new home sphere on a regular quarterly basis. Because Larry, one of the things that you talk about, Evans, I'm sure you know this as well, is that if you're a new agent, just being versed in what's going on in that new home sphere and being seen and visible in different communities on a regular basis, there's business, there are leads, there are transactions there to be had. So, Mr. Charles, just speak to your experience from that sphere, how those builder field trips have benefited you and what you've taken from those exercises.
Man, well, shoot, you already tapped in right there. You already mentioned the most obvious, right? Is being versed and being having the knowledge base on how the builders, who's where, which builder is doing what, where these new houses are, or how the trends are moving throughout the city and everything. That's the most obvious thing as an agent. But the secret for me, all right,
game time. Here we go.
I like to invite my people in my other organizations to come out and have that little free little lunch or meal with me. They come along for the ride, whether they meet me there or we ride share together or something like that. They're getting an opportunity to also see what else is in the city. What I call it is leveraging their social platform to get my name out there, even if they're not even in the market. Right. Because a lot of times these events, there's a great crowd, there's great opportunity to network. There's other people from other parts of the city that have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, look, come meet my lender. She would love to just talk with you. And next thing you know, we're taking pictures. We're having the time of the day. And next thing you know, it's out on their platform. They're like with me. And all of a sudden, I'm that 2 separation degrees from like, hey, you were with Evans the other day?
Yeah.
That's the magic that I love.
That's
about
right.
it. So yes, I go on all these builder trips to fill up my inventory, fill up my bag, make sure I know, hey, if somebody's interested, they want to know where they could, what's happening, where the schools are being built, what the trends are, how the cost is happening, what interest rates are out there. All that is very vital. And the builders making those connections to where they're letting me know, hey, someone just walked in. They need a realtor.
Hey, they got a house they need to sell. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm right there for them.
Yeah.
And building those relationships, relationship currency, valuable. Can't be stated
enough. You got to ask you this, Larry, because I think there's some members of our audience that may not understand or realize that early in your career, Mr. Larry W. Brooks actually sold homes and built new homes for developers. So if you can go back, let's hop in the time machine and go back to when you were sitting on that side of the desk.
Oh, here's the thing that was sweet about me, man. The thing that was sweet about me is that I always, as I was building out and finding communities that I want to trust and be involved in, I always had my own binder filled out. So I would have their floor plans out of a binder. So I was literally like a sales counselor. Like I could walk out there and it wouldn't be nothing you can't tell me. So one of the things I did real good, Evans, when going to those is I would study. I was like, okay, let me get all of your price sheets. Now the price sheets might change week to week, but that gave me an opportunity to touch bases with the sales counsel more often when the price sheets changed before I came out there. But one of the things that I really took pride in, I would give me one of those little old $1.25 binders, give me some sleeves, and I would have, for every product that they built, I would be able to flip through and know the answers to elevations, know the answers to square footage, know the bedroom plans, what bedroom plan could be switched out with like a media room and things like that, as I was trying to identify the community that I want to fall in love with. Now, when I identified one that I want to fall in love with, that rings a bell to me right now, it was like Brunswick, the Brunswick Place, Brunswick Meadows. They're not too far from where our corporate office is right now. That one there, I mean, literally have edited everything that they wanted. So when I went out there and saw the sales counselor, which was Billy at the time, it was like, oh, well, Larry, you already know everything. Like, because I was out there all the time doing it exactly that way. So that's actually another level. If you've identified a community and you feel like that community is going to be around the next 3 years, I would put together a folder of their products and spend my time, guiding new people around that community as well. So just my thoughts.
No, that's good, man, because see, today's episode, I'm hoping that those in our audience, if something that Evans has mentioned, that something Larry has mentioned, something that I've mentioned, I'm hoping it piques their curiosity, their creativity, and opens up their third eye to considering everything that they may not have thought about of how to put themselves out there and jumpstart their career.
Yeah,
but
because the thing is Rick, we want, if I had to go back, when I think about real estate, I think about at some point, once you get if you're new in the business, you want to shoot for new home relationships. And then if for some particular reason that don't go in immediately, you can bounce past them to pre-existing homes. There's nothing wrong with that. But ideally you want to take the easier traveled road in the beginning as you're building out these relationships. And I do think that because think about it, when you do a new home transaction, there are several of you that are working to assist to make sure that this process goes smoothly for this first time home or this home buyer period. Doesn't have to be a first time home buyer. It could be someone buying $250, moving into their first $700,000 house. We've done them all. So, yeah.
Evans, I want to ask you this because you've been so generous with your time, sharing your expertise, and you've even also gave a couple of tidbits of game from your personal holster. So I appreciate that as well. But when you think back to your upbringing, and I know you mentioned you're from New York, when you think back to your early time in the city, is there a member of your family, your close personal circle, or someone in the neighborhood that was an entrepreneur or a business owner that you can credit to kind of like flipping that switch, inspiring you and motivating you to travel this path? Because it's not easy. But when you think back, who would you give that credit to, sir?
Well, again, that's why I had to start off mentioning the fact that my parents, coming from Haiti, landing in New York, raising me up in Brooklyn, New York, moving me up to upstate New York. That whole time of from day one to, I would say, maybe about 16, maybe 17, my parents, they believed in that American dream of owning real estate. Okay. We had multiple properties from the Catskills. We kept an apartment complex in Brooklyn. We were in Spring Valley with townhomes. This is just my childhood was me following my dad, working on the pipes, plumbing, yard, doing the cutting the grass, checking it, collecting the money, chasing down some tenants. So the entrepreneur skill was embedded in the DNA. Yes, even to where my mom, who has passed in the last year, this time we extended our entrepreneurial reach all the way out to Panama City, Panama. So yes, the real estate thing is serious. It's I don't know. It's just been in me since day one. So here it is. In the later part of my years, not that late, because I did lose the hair, but still, I'm
Well,
out
it
here
ain't
hustling.
late at all. You're at the halfway point, baby.
The halfway point, right?
Yeah.
I finally picked up the mantle, and yes, I do it with their spirit in my heart. So yeah, I'm out here trying to do it. Yeah,
You know, man,
the ones
it's
that inspire.
amazing. One of the great things about establishing this platform and working along with Larry is that we've had the pleasure of interviewing hundreds of entrepreneurs and business owners like yourself. And one of the common themes is how inspirational and influential parents being as role models and setting examples. And the great thing about your story is that even though you were exposed to this so much as a young person, you were able to come back to that at a time where you were mature enough, motivated enough, and you had an eye and a vision on your future that you could implement those techniques and some of the things you learned from the past and use it in today and use it as fuel to catapult your career. So I want to thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything, Evans, that you would want to share with yourself the day after you got your first license? Is there any advice that you would give to a younger you that not only would help propel you to where you are today, but something that you felt like might have been able to empower you and take you to the next level even faster?
The younger me, yeah. I would try and say, I have to follow the quote that my dad gave me. I would have to say, hey, look, there's always a party somewhere happening. Leave them alone. Don't get distracted. Stay focused to what counts. Keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
My younger self, I got caught up. I got distracted. I was always, shaking and making and with partying too much. But today, the way the way I met Larry, I took those words and I was like, everything he's got to say, I'm focused on just that. My coach, CEO, Michael, Davis over here, the way he his Jedi mind tricks are not really Jedi mind tricks because they're things, they're principles, they're life principles. And you gotta stop, if anything, stop resisting true principles of life and fall in line, and then the blessings will start coming your way. And I truly believe in that right there. That's what I would tell my younger self.
Look, man, I want to thank you so much, man, because your story is inspiring. There's so many members of our audience that are going to take things from this interview and they're going to implement those in their business practices the same way you implemented Mr. Brooks's advice into your business practices. So even if you don't get your thank yous from every person who watched this show and got a deal because of what you told them, I want to thank you first. So I want to appreciate you so much, Mr. Charles. If you ever want to sit in on a show with Larry and myself, again, you have an open invitation. We look forward to speaking with you in the future, brother, and much success.
Thank you again for having me. It's been a pleasure. And yes, I'm adapting that $1 million mindset.
Hey, thank you so much, sir. We'll talk to you soon, Mr. Charles. See, this is what I'm talking about, Larry, man. Today's episode, man, was righteous, brother. I really feel enlightened and uplifted after that conversation, man.
Yeah. The thing is, man, you need more people out there that's like Evans Charles, man, that really get in, take the advice, take the nurturing, and go all in. And that's one of the things that I can literally say. And the thing is the reason why he reminds me so much of somebody that's going to blow it up in this business is because his connections outweigh even the real estate relationships, right? He's doing everything like his gym. If you a gym, a writers club, his automobile, participating with the Jeep club that he's a part of. That's what people leave so many things on the table. All they want to do is do real estate, go home. Do real estate, go home. That's not it. That's not the bottom line to this thing. You're going to build out your business by your relationship currency. Now, every day, I guarantee you, he's not forced to have a real estate conversation. But once people find out what you do, it could be the parry, it could be the name tag. As you can see, he was double parried up here, an R up here, and an R down here. Listen, man, in this game, you got to let people know what you're doing. And I commend him for every day taking the time out to build relationships and allow people to know what it is that he's doing. He's going to look up one day and people are going to do him like they do you, like they do me, like they do other people that have been in this industry for years. You're going to have your phone ringing and text messaging every single day, something dealing with real estate related. And you're not even performing as many activities as you used to, man. So
right, man. You know, man, like I said before, man, everyone in the audience, like, subscribe, share this episode. If you know anyone that's currently studying to be a licensed realtor, that's currently in real estate school, that have been recent licensed or are unhappy where they are with their real estate broker, share this episode. Reach out to myself, reach out to Mr. Brooks, man, because we're here to help, we're here to motivate, and we're here to inspire. Mr. Brooks, just like we do every week about this time.
Yeah.
What's going on this Easter weekend in the world of the Texas Real Estate King?
Man, here's my challenge, man. I was debating on either being in town or going down to East Texas. Shout out to the Young Noob, shout out to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the most amazing frat in the world. We're having our Founders Day weekend down there. So I might dash down there for a few hours, few days, and just spend some time, bestowing upon some of the young brothers some of the knowledge that I picked up 25 years ago when I first got into the bund, and just the things that I've seen that have changed. So that may be what's on my plate for this weekend, man.
Hey, look, man, well, if you go out there, man, drive safely as always, man.
Exactly.
Great show again, man. It's great to have Mr. Charles sit in with us, man.
Yes,
big, huge shout out to our super producer, Jay Joseph, man. She works behind the scenes to keep us going and make the show live than what it was.
Always.
So
matter of fact, in the comments, in the comment area, y'all let us know how much y'all appreciate and y'all like this new background that we got going on, man. Like it's so clean, so fresh. Make sure y'all leave some comments in there. Tell us about it. Tell us what you're thinking. Again, and share this on YouTube. The more people we can touch, y'all know this whole algorithm thing. We always hear it. Share.
Hey, look, man, on behalf of myself, Ric Davis, and the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, we want to thank everyone in the audience for checking out the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. We'll see you this same time next week. And until then, everyone out there, be safe and be blessed.